Hey y'all. I would have done the thing where I put on makeup and, tried today, but I didn't fucking have it. So anyways, hi, it's me and Jamila, and it's only gonna be me for a few minutes because Jamila's doing the show today. So it's hi, hey y'all.
Yeah.
How's it going? So it's been like I don't have any I have very few words. Like most of my words are this week was awful. I just things suck. I am exactly as tired as I look, which is super fuck. My husband's coming over, so
Hi.
there's we're as awkward as we are. Anyways, it's Akiko is asking about your hair because we are concerned about our host's hair here. It's like I said, they want to know, and they're just put more wigs on your Amazon wish list. It's going to happen. But yeah, like I'm just here for a few minutes, or it's like we just like it's how we roll here. Like I said, throw makeup onto your wish list. Throw more wigs onto the wish list. They will show up. I'm basically going back and forth between like violent crying jags, as you can see from how fucking puffy my face is, and seeming fine occasionally. And I'm at a seeming fine moment as Jamila has seen me like halfway break down in tears a few times, like the last 20 minutes we've been chatting. So, like we're gonna chat for like it was funny. I was starting to look like my normal tradition before shows is to look at Twitter and see what's happening in the news beforehand. And like there's I like the first thing I saw when I looked at Twitter before this was that the phrase lynchings in Mississippi is trending. I'm like, I don't even want to look at the news. No, why? Everything's awful. Fuck it. Just I'm gonna stick to how awful my life is right now because nothing's better. So there's my thoughts on the day. Was there even news this week? I don't know. Like here like sorry. Go ahead.
I think the Olympics are over or something. I have been only watching on like I have the C Plus and like Peacock sort of. I got a half-ass Peacock where like I can't watch in real time, and so I've honestly been looking at pages who are watching things in real time.
Yeah, it's my favorite way to watch.
Oh my god, that baton pass was awful.
My favorite way to watch any sporting event
rated Olympics in the history.
It's my favorite way to watch any sporting event is to watch Leslie Jones's Twitter and to see how she's reporting it. Just it's way more entertaining. Are we? I feel like we're having a cutting each other off. Like, are we missing each other here? Oh, she's a.
I think I'm all plugged in. I am real time. I don't know what the hell we're going to do though. I'm just going to be hey, talking, and then
It's like I've been having technical or not technical issues. I've been having connection issues all morning, even plugged into like lag problems are pretty, as David just commented, lag issues are pretty, like they're even plugged into the wall. They're normal. They're pretty common. This morning I was plugged into Ethernet and it was like, yeah, you don't have any connection for an hour. I'm like, no, why? So just, well, these are growing pains. We'll get through this. We will get through this. Yeah, it's like it's if
will. That's the theme of this week.
Yeah, we'll get through this. Like if you've never like I'm going to write about this later this week. Probably like I say I'm going to write about this later this week, and I don't know if I'm going to be able to, like, because it's fucking heavy and it's hard, and like I keep thinking things and I'm like, oh, I should write this down, and I'm like, oh god, every time I try to think about it for more than 2 seconds, I'm like, ugh, dagger to the heart. But like, it's the thing with going through something like this. It's like, you think, like, when, what I've had other family members pass away, and I've had, family members close to, it's Akiko, I'm not homeless. Like, I want, Akiko, I want you to come hang out, like, soon. Okay. It's just, I don't want to see anyone right now. I want to hide away in my grief with my family members. And, like, I barely want to see humans who aren't, like, my closest anyway. I'm okay. I don't need a place to go hide from my family, though. Like, I appreciate it so much that you want to, that you so want to help. Right now I just need to be here with my husband and talking to my mom and my sister-in-law, and that's the best thing I can do right now. But I super appreciate you. Okay. But yeah, the like, if you've never been through something like this, which I hope you never have to, and just, it's the reality that some people will, like, you hear that a friend died or an acquaintance died, or even, like, an older relative that it's gonna happen. Like, I've lost grandparents, and it was devastating, and I cried for a month. But your 86-year-old grandfather who had a heart attack and a stroke earlier that year. It's TikTok that's gonna happen, and it sucks. It's still fucking blue, and it was horrible. And it was the first time in my life that I really felt deep grief. But this is this, like, there's someone just asked, can I send you candy? There's my Amazon wish list and Jamila's Amazon wish list are listed, are linked below, and if you're on Twitch, they're linked, at least in the Facebook show, on the show notes on Facebook. And we always we always accept candy. Candy is just, or at least, I don't know if Jamila accepts candy, but I always accept candy. But y'all have sent me a lot, and I super appreciate it. But like, it's like I said, I've had, friends, I've had loved ones pass away before, and it always super sucks. And I'm not great at handling death, especially for someone who's got a degree in forensics. And I'm like, yeah, dead bodies, whatever. But like, with someone who, it was my brother. This was my, the witness to my childhood, the person that, I arguably, like, I shared so much with, like, even if, and my brother and I didn't always get along growing up, because, we had a complicated childhood because my father was a piece of shit. And, like, that's recipe for you having, sibling issues growing up. But as adults, we got along really well. Like, there are all these adorable pictures of us just, like, making a series of just the same facial expressions at each other, and fuck, do we look alike. Like, it's just, we turned into adults who really loved each other. And you have that kind of relationship, and man, it's gonna hurt when that goes away. And it's not just that they're gone and that they're gone. It's that every time that something happens, anytime that you're any pore of existence, you're thinking, what would Leo have thought when I told him about that? How would he have liked that when I painted that? How would he have liked, what would he have said about that? And you're thinking about it constantly. And I know eventually it's going to be less constant, it gets easier. And right now it's just everything constant all the time. Like, I'm decorating my house, and it's like, what would he have thought about this color? He would have said to have used the brighter shade of purple, not the gray. Like, all that kind of stuff is just happening, and it's gonna keep happening for a while. And, like, yeah, it sucks. It super fucking sucks, because he was too young. He and his wife were just so happy, and, like, I gotta throw this out there, because I know we have so I'd be doing probably a disservice to him if I didn't mention this. He was a trans man, and a lot of trans people do not ever have the chance to be truly happy in this life, because just, our society is not as kind as we could be to all of our people. We're not. We just aren't. And he was truly deeply happy. He had a wonderful group of friends. He and his wife were married for 13 years and dedicated, and just as in love as two people could be. And it's awful that he didn't have another 40 years of that. And just knowing that he could have, like, he was, he had he had a rough childhood. He was autistic, and it was during a time when we didn't know what autism really, or we weren't good at at diagnosing and giving people who were dealing with that the help that they needed. Kids were cruel. Our father was a piece of shit. And finally, as an adult, he had, friends and a group that was so supportive and so wonderful. And he was at a wonderful place in his life. And it's just, it breaks my heart that he fought so hard to get to that point. And that's when it got taken away. Like, so that's the worst part of this, is knowing he could have had so many more years of a happiness that he worked so hard to get. So yeah, that's been the week. So, and last night at some point I had a crying jag, and that was just this horrible, deep, hiccupy sob of just realizing, man, he's really goddamn dead. It's going to be awful. It's going to be a really awful time. I'm going to do what I can to start writing on a regular basis this week. I'm probably and I mean, I'm probably going to, I don't know if officially announce is the phrase, but I'm probably going to stop doing every day and start doing 5 days a week instead. Like the next few weeks, it might be every other day for a bit while I, because I'm going to be traveling to, Kansas City to visit my sister-in-law later this month, and then to New Hampshire to visit my mom. But this has been kind of a wake-up call that I need to take days off to spend time with my family. I can't work every day. I shouldn't be working every day. So so the schedule is going to change a little bit. I can't write every single day. I need to take a little bit of time.
Good.
So, yeah. So we're gonna change this to 5 days a week of writing probably from here on out. It might be for the next few weeks just every other day to like whenever I can get it out. But yeah, it's gonna we can't do every day just because and like I said, things were good with my brother by the end, but like there were times when I didn't take his didn't take his calls, but I was like, hey, I got to get off the phone. I really have to get back to work. And fuck, do I wish I hadn't done that? I would give anything to go back and spend 20 more minutes on the phone. So
we, particularly in this country, I mean, nobody does well with this, but no. Especially since, folks can't hop on a plane and just come hang out and sit. That's hard.
It's making it even worse.
We in this country do terribly with grief, and we don't have. Some communities do better with having ritual around it and this, that, the other. But the expectation of, oh, get over it, the expectation of, oh, you should be working, the expectation of, oh, well, just, deal with that in your private
Murder
time.
demon.
Murder demon says, hello.
I'm like, look, we have to just, I will distract from my sadness however I can. There's a kid. Look, I've been painting all week. I've been doing I happen to have a psychiatrist appointment scheduled on Friday because I'm crazy and so I need doctors for that. I think we should talk about mental health more. And like, what better opportunity to do that than right the fuck now? I've gone to, right before the pandemic last year, I had myself a mental breakdown, and I had a mental breakdown at the exact right time. If you're going to have a mental breakdown, do it before the pandemic so that you're well medicated before everyone else goes crazy. So that as the world was locking down, my antidepressants were kicking in. It was great. Mm-hmm. But here's the thing, I was, if I hadn't been that well medicated before, there's a reason I'm bringing that up, but if I hadn't been that well medicated, before it all started, I would have been doing much worse. And Debbie just said, you're not crazy, you're taking care of myself. No, I'm taking care of myself because I'm crazy. And I think it's okay if I refer to my mental illness that way. Like I'm accepting that's the way I refer to it. And if that makes it easier for me to handle that I have a mental illness, let that be the way that I handle it. I'm not calling other people a word that they don't like. I'm calling myself crazy. Like it's I'm mentally ill. Like if that's just part. Anyways, but I happen to have my regular, now my last like year's worth of checkups have been, great because I'm taking my meds. I'm doing the things I have to. I'm going to, I'm doing all the things I should do to keep myself mentally on top of my shit. Like I said, I go back and forth between crying like crazy and seeming fine. Right now, seeming fine. But I had my psychiatrist appointment, just happened to have it scheduled. I was like, the day that my brother died, I was like, oh God, I need to schedule an appointment to see my psychiatrist because I don't know how bad this is going to be, but I know it's not going to be good. And it happened that I had an appointment for Friday, and like, it was just like the look on my psychiatrist's face through the entire thing, like, he normally is just, because I make people laugh because it's what I do. He's normally like giggling through the appointments. Like he just looked like the entire thing. I'm like, oh, I must really look like hell. It's not a thing you realize until you see how people are reacting to you. But yeah, he was, no, I have a great psychiatrist over it. Like I complain a lot about Kaiser, but I love my psychiatrist. He got me referred over to a bereavement group, and to an individual, therapist specifically for this. So I'm getting all the help I'm supposed to be getting. So many people have sent meals and Uber Eats gift cards, and have sent my table looks like a florist's office right now. It's like, my mom, my sister-in-law, and I have all realized that Akiko, are you at if you're at Kaiser as well? Its name is I want to say his first name is Walter, but it's Dr. Walter Schuham. He's just a wonderful psychiatrist. I'm on Klonopin for anxiety, and I'm bringing this up just because it's relevant. So I had been, during the Trump administration, I was taking a lot more Klonopin because we were having insurrections and people driving Joe Biden's bus off the road. And I was like, well, democracy's over. Fuck it. Give me drugs. And I was taking it. Like I had a pill of it every day, and I was white knuckling it to get through the end of the month. I was at the point where I was barely taking it anymore. Like I had asked my doctor to reduce the amount he gave me per month because I had gone over 2 months without refilling it. I was like, yeah, just, cut it down. And then when I have my appointment on Friday, like without me asking, my doctor's like, yeah, when next year need a refill, we'll talk about me putting it back up to the old quantity. I'm like, okay. But yeah, like like I said, I don't know how bad it's going to be, but apparently my doctor is braced for this being really bad. Like this sucks.
Yeah. One of the reasons, there are a lot of reasons I love you so much, but one of the main reasons, and this is a clear illustration, is that there are a whole lot of people, if you go online or if you just talk generally, that will tell you, Black people don't do mental health well. African Americans are loath to disclose mental health issues, blah, 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 blah. And I'm like, honey, that's Americans. That's Americans.
Yep.
Like,
yep. We all pretend that there's no, yeah.
Yeah, and there are, every group has cultural differences about it. If you don't believe me, find one of your high achieving Asian friends and say, what did your mother say to you when you messed up on something when you were about 8 or 9? We can have those conversations. But being able to share openly, yeah, I true story, we had our DNA test done, and I found out that in addition to being 33% Ku Klux Klan, they can see the little hoods in my bloodstream. My father's people come from Paducah, Kentucky, the birthplace of the KKK. There's a reason that, I'm sorry, West Africa does not have eyes this color, okay? It needed some mixing. There are little
Oh
hoods in my bloodstream. You can see it.
It's
But also,
you
like,
are
there's
more. I it's the horrible joke is you're more clan than I am, which is
yes,
not a
I
thing I
am.
ever would have
Most of
expected.
these
Oh
damn pretenders who, who have parents that came off of boats and grandparents, no,
God.
my bloodline is, hate for Black people, which is
Oh,
really interesting. And I share
I
that to say it can make grief kind of weird when you find out, oh, relatives and somebody died, or relatives, and why are a whole bunch of your relatives multimillionaires and you're not? Oh yeah, they
oh
did. Yeah,
mm.
when they cut the dark skinned people out of the wheel and you descend from them,
It's you.
I and
You
I
know
bring
what?
that up
It's
because no, you first, you first.
no, no. You finish your thought, and then I have a completely different tangent. So go ahead.
I bring that up to say, we're all in our own way, and we know this. We're all in our own way. Not quite right, y'all. And the ability to share that and be that with other folks, the ability to admit that we don't know how to handle things. There was a time where we all lived in tighter communities where it wasn't just about the casserole, it was that the ladies wouldn't leave for a week or two or longer.
Yeah, you're not going to be
Nobody,
alone.
exactly, nobody had to be alone, and the kids all gathered and played, and people kept bringing, and the family I come from, it's very important for us that at funerals that babies are there.
Yeah,
Everybody's supposed to bring their babies and their toddlers, uh and and uh and that is there as the reminder that we go on, we continue, we still
yeah.
find joy, that life still brings happiness. And look, there are little kids, we're never going to go extinct. That's
The family
that's
line is still going on. Yeah,
exactly. And for those of us who are private about our struggles, I'm there'll come a time where I'll share some stuff. But yeah, the shitty childhood brigade hashtag, mine was too.
woo! We're writers. It
Yeah,
comes with the territory.
the funnier the person, the shittier something about their life is.
I
Yeah,
there's a rule. Either if they had a good childhood, it means they have mental illness. If they had a good childhood and no mental illness, there's something weird in their I don't believe that there is a comedian out there with just everything's fine.
yeah.
Everything's fine and they're super fucking fun. No.
Mm-mm, mm-mm,
Doesn't
mm-mm.
happen. There's
They
trauma.
turned in
Trauma.
they people with happy childhoods and everything was normal and perfect turn into Jeffrey Dahmer. So uh, he had a great childhood.
Oh yeah.
His
So
parents should have expanded his palate a little more.
oh god.
Did I just make it? Yes, I did. See, because yeah.
Cannibalism jokes we're all about it here.
Hey,
oh yeah,
hey.
so it's funny. One thing I've mentioned like just a few times just the last few days. Like it's my father is I would say was a piece of shit, but unfortunately he's still alive. Pardon me, that was a big old belch. But like my brother and I were so looking forward to, the day that we found that obituary so that we could piss on our father's grave. Like, not together. Like pissing on like one grave together sounds messy, but like, that was supposed to happen. Like was that my father was supposed to die and we were supposed to leave a pile of elephant dung on that man's grave for all the fucking damage he did. And now like I gotta lug a lot of elephant dung alone, and that's not fair. Like the fact that my father still draws breath in a universe in which my brother doesn't is wrong. It's just this feel, and it's funny because I said that to my husband yesterday, and it's like I realize, and he's like, you're gonna have a lot of complicated emotions when your father dies, even if you think you're gonna be fine with it, you're gonna have complicated emotions about it. I'm like, you're right, and it's like here's the thing, even though like I know beyond the shadow of a doubt, like that my father is never going to apologize for a single fucking thing he's done. Like, and here's the thing, all my father would have to do is issue a sincere apology. Like, and I know he's not watching this, but Don, if you're watching this, all you would have to do to get a relationship with your one remaining child, because you only have one now, is to sincerely apologize, admit that you've done wrong, and say you're sorry, but you won't, because you won't admit to yourself that you've done anything wrong. Anyways, but like, here's the thing, like, I would, until, like, as long as he's alive, I will still hold out hope. I will hold space for him to change. Like, it's, as much as I would love for all the awful Republicans on the planet who are, you know, like, gays are an abomination, I would love for all of them to change their mind, and I'll be mad at them for having the, you know, those bad opinions as long as they did. I want them to change. I always hold room for people to fucking change and say they were wrong and come out and do the right thing. And I gotta do the same for my father, because you know what? Like, my brother at one point, and this is like, it's, you know, this isn't to air dirty laundry, it's just, you know, a bit of backstory. Like, my brother, at one point I told him, I'm like, you need to go to therapy, because some of your mental health issues are really putting a strain on all of our relationships. So until you go to therapy, we need to take a bit of a breather here on the amount of time we spend, you know, hanging out, on the amount of time we spend together. It was a bit harsh for me to do it that way, but you know what? He went to therapy and we got to be much better, much closer after that. My father is a person that just resisted to that kind of stuff every step of the way. Like, nope, I'm fine. And the thing is, like, I always believe in giving people a chance to, you know, to do the thing, to become better, to fix whatever is, you know, hurting their heart and making them act in a way that hurts other people. And like, Leo took those chances, and he took those times to, you know, fix the hurt that my father caused. My father, whatever caused that hurt in his heart that caused him to hurt other people, he's never stopped to think, I might be the wrong person. And it's like, I'll always, like I said, hold space for him to change, because, you know, holding space for my brother to change was why we ended up having a really good relationship towards the end of his life. But like, you know, I don't think that's going to happen for my father. I'll keep hope there. And it's that the day that he dies is the day that hope dies. And there's only that tiny sliver of it, but I'm going to have a lot of complicated emotions when he dies, and I know it. And that's rough. And it's like, it would have been easier if my brother had been there somehow, just someone there to fucking talk about it, because we went through that together.
Yeah, it would have been. And, you know, your mourning now too is for what will never be. And
yeah,
we don't know how to do that, but other than to just sort of support in those moments. And as someone too who, like, I did not know this. I totally 2019 I had a pretty big mental thing that was also previous administration related. I'm a reporter. I'm in DC.
Oh, yeah.
I turned 40 years old. And then the next day that thing got elected. So I still, like, there's some regression, like I still haven't dealt with. Jesus. But then my 44th birthday, my Obama year, my 44th birthday, November 7th, is when Biden Harris was confirmed, and she strutted across the stage in that white suit. So I was like, okay, happy birthday. I'll take it.
Things are getting
yes.
Better. Yeah.
So 2019, I can't even think about it. I just have to do one of those. No. Okay, we're just moving on.
We do the Wayne's World, the Scooby Doo. It didn't happen.
And then and 2020 was so gonna be my year. I was in San Francisco.
We were so wrong.
Oh my God!
Everything we thought 2020 would be, whatever anyone thought it would be,
Tuesday
wrong.
Taco Tuesday was on Cinco de Mayo, or rather, Cinco de Mayo was on Taco Tuesday in 2020, which was going to be my
This is our
15th
year.
wedding anniversary. Okay, Halloween would have had a Friday the 13th a few weeks earlier.
Oh my
2020
God.
October, like all the things.
I mean, to be fair, we should have seen it coming that 2020 would be the year of hindsight. Sorry, I didn't
see it coming. I didn't see it coming.
Because it's the year of I'll never not throw down that joke.
I think I think that when the time comes, we need to do I don't know how the Acadian people do wakes. I know how Black people do. And I think when the time comes, we should have a very boozy SciBey where we sit and tell stories and have adult beverages or whatever else we like.
Leo would love that.
Leo, yeah.
You see, the way Leo is, and I'm not a big drinker, and it's just because it doesn't sit well with my medications, but in honor of Leo, I will get my ass fucking drunk. Because he's like, everyone will come, you will drink my good scotch, you will tell stories. That is his, because we can't have a real, we can't have a real funeral right now. And the plan is to he's being cremated so that we can, still have him present. Leo, I was talking to my mom about this, and we realized Leo and I were very good in very different ways of being the center of attention. Even though I talk a lot, clearly, I'm not loud in a group of people. I'm someone who will start telling jokes, but not Leo is loud and would rush into the center of a group. I'll wait, analyze everyone's sense of humor, try to figure out what, and I'll wait to drop a bomb of a joke after everyone's talked, because I'm all right, I've analyzed what will make everyone in this group laugh, and now I will say my first line. But he was, here's the thing, he was just this spark of a human that everywhere he went, he had a ton of friends. He made everyone around him just fucking happy. If he had a party at his house and invited you, he wanted to know what your food preferences were. He would, if you had a dietary restriction, not only was he going to cook for it, he was going to find 6 recipes online that he was going to make. He was going to make you feel special anytime you were around him. And just he wanted just happy, joyful, sweet, merry energy around him all the time. Just he created this, or I don't know what the group was like before him, but he constructed this group around him in Kansas City that all he was a mushroom hunter. That's his, he went out and foraged for mushrooms. His group of friends in Kansas City, and when my mom told me this, I was like, oh, we have to do this too. They're all going out and getting mushroom tattoos in honor of Leo. They're all getting little mushroom tattoos. So my mom and I are like, oh fuck, we have to get mushroom tattoos.
Awesome.
We're gonna go out and get, to be clear, not magic mushrooms. We're not that much of hippies, but we're getting little black trumpets that he used to go and forage in New Hampshire with my mom. So it's it's just he used to go to Harry Potter conventions all the time. That's where he met his wife, was at a Harry Potter convention. They're just the most. They are the most. They cosplayed before people cosplayed for a living. They're just the most adorable nerds you've ever met. Yes, mushroom tattoo for everyone, Akiko. I look. This will be the new mark of being in SciBabeTopia is where's your mushroom tattoo. So maybe that might be a little much, but yeah, it's mushroom. Where my mom and I are getting mushroom tattoos.
Wear a temporary mushroom tattoo. I have a skin condition where anytime my skin breaks, I scar. My body.
Tattoos are not good for you.
No. I overproduce collagen. My mom's the same way. My son's the same way. What it does though is it makes my 75-year-old mother look 20-ish years younger.
I was about to say I know the phrase is black don't crack, but in your case, black is really never gonna goddamn crack.
Yeah,
you're gonna
yeah, it's like I got. I don't know if I can. Oh God, this isn't sure, but like, and I get keloids, and I'm
Oh, okay,
really
yeah.
fortunate.
My
Yeah,
my friend
I'm really
Jennifer has
fortunate.
keloids. I've seen it before.
Yeah, it's so there's that, but there's also the condition I have, which is hypertrophic scarring, which is, anytime my skin breaks, I'm going to have a scar. It'll probably
Oh,
something, a mosquito bite
yeah.
for me takes
Don't
a year and a half, 2 years to go, the
don't
discoloration and all that. So yeah,
don't
I
get you
say
that
that
You
to
don't.
say, but my face looks younger. Like I seriously look like a teenager until
Oh
I
yeah.
was 30.
But I
And
mean, yeah, you're I think 6 years older than me, and your skin is gonna you will look younger than me forever. Like it's just like as phrased by Jon Stewart when he was on Colbert not that long ago. He's like it's they were he what did he say? There was a picture of them from like 17 years ago when they looked about same age, and Jon Stewart has aged a touch more than
Mhm.
Colbert. He's like, Jews age like avocados. Expose us to. Suddenly we look great, and then all of a sudden you expose us to air. It's
Uh,
my mom has aged like a fucking daisy, and she's doing like nothing has aged her, and like my forehead has gotten the sudden just it's look, I will Botox and just anti-age this thing with space age dermatology until the day I die. That's just look, it's just part of being vain and pigmentally challenged. Okay, that's just like look. I got a lot of privilege and a lot of guilt and a lot of wrinkles. That's just came along with the territory.
there we go.
So
And
oh,
there will come a time where we all get together in person and
yeah.
do all the things that one does at whatever SciBey Con will look like.
So, I
Because
like SciBey Con. I like it. I like it.
we
We're
should
just
we need to do we're isolated. That does
I
nothing good for us.
I think you
And
should start
yeah,
I think you should start a page of that's called SciBey.
I might as
I
well. I might as well, because one thing I love, it's Cy Babe and my name's Bay. So it works
I
out.
just
Yeah, we need to.
just start yourself a Facebook page at SciBey. Get it going, and that way, like when you comment on things, you're commenting from SciBey. Just get it going. I just
Let me hurry up and do it now before somebody else beats me to
oh,
it. Hold on.
it's, oh,
Log
if
out.
someone else does it, like don't make me don't make Yvette get mad. But I was like, yeah, this has
Oh
been
my God.
oddly healing. Like I mean,
Good.
not that I was sure I was going to be like, hi guys, leave, and like then I started talking, and you've met me. I
Hmm.
can't stop once I start. But yeah, it's been a lot of yeah, the week's been a lot of talk about things that aren't this, then go back to talking about Leo and crying again, and it's just that's I think like part of my conversation with my psychiatrist was like, yeah, like I'm trying to do a combination of distracting myself, of thinking about it actively to try to process it, and like no matter what, back of my head it's going all the time, so I gotta do things that are gonna keep my mind off of it. So like I haven't been writing this week because good luck writing. So I've been painting and painting the house because that I've been a little behind on that, but just doing whatever I can to keep do it's process an amount that's not gonna kill me, and get through it. And it's like there's no right way to do this, and there's also no wrong way to do it, but like you gotta wake up and get some food in your system and take a shower and whatnot. And it was funny, my mom went to get her hair cut the other day, and she was trying to say to me, she's like, well, I have to, it's like it's not, Leo's not getting my haircut isn't going to bring Leo back to life. And and I'm like, mom, you have to, Leo, like it's Leo dying last week doesn't stop life from happening this week. Like it's no one's going to be offended that you got your, but it's like the other thing was she said to me, she's like, I told Leo I was thinking about getting a pink streak, and my mom had been thinking about getting a pink streak in her hair forever. She's been talking about it forever. And Leo had said to her, "Oh my god, it'd be so cute." So finally, she got a pink streak in her hair. She finally got a pink streak in her hair. People are asking how Sci Mom and Jennifer. Bad, like as good as could be expected. Like, we're all going back and forth between, as I said, like we're all going back and forth between seeming fine and crying a lot. Like, it's just, I think like Jen is doing like better than I would expect, but I also think like, she's like, when you like, they were so completely devoted and in love and happy, and like as my husband described them, they were like two nesting doves. Like, just it's they were penguins that were mated for life, just so perfectly entwined in each other's lives. And I, like, when last I spoke to Jennifer, like she was, we talked on the phone for an hour. Or she was, she was it wasn't, how to phrase this, she's coping, and I think reality is going to set in more, as it will for all of us, like, when when everyone when life goes back to quote normal. Like, because right now she has people like Kate, like she had a few friends of theirs that have come to stay with them and help out and whatnot. And I'm like, when everything goes back to quiet is when it's going to be hard, or harder, if like that's when the real, oh shit, he's not coming back, starts to really fucking set in. But like, she also she came home from work to find him, because she worked third shift. She came home from work to find him deceased. And like, I don't know how you handle like that has to, it's like, I don't know how you handle that as a spouse. Like, it's been hard for me to fall. Like, that's one thing that's really been affecting me. That's part of the reason why I look so tired. Like, it's been hard to fall asleep. Like, just knowing that my brother passed away in his sleep. Like, I've been getting not enough sleep, but I've been sleeping. I've been, how to phrase this, I've been getting some sleep. It's just, it's hard to fall asleep. Like, the first night was awful. I had one night this week where I only got like an hour and a half of sleep. It was just, I'm trying to nap when I can. And that's been the hardest thing, I think. Like, people worry that you're not eating. And normally I have, because of my medications, eating is sometimes hard because like they'll really make it harder to get an appetite. And if anything, I've been eating to distract myself. So that's one thing I've been doing enough of this week, which is normally a concern. But like, sleeping's been hard. But I'm luckily, from not having a boss and not having a real set schedule, I've just been, when I can, I nap. So it's just
Good.
This whole thing is it's, we're figuring out like mom was she just recently went from working full time to semi-retired, because she waited till she was 70, because then she could get her full pension out. And it's just, so now she's like, all right, I can actually take time off around Christmas and take time off around Thanksgiving, because like she worked retail, and they don't give you time off around Christmas and Thanksgiving if you work retail. And now she's like, all right, I have enough time to actually do this. So it's like, okay, I can like my mom's favorite holiday is Thanksgiving, and because she worked retail, we could never really have a Thanksgiving, or we haven't been able to as much in previous years. So like, Derek and I are going to fly out for Thanksgiving. She's going to fly out here for Christmas. Like, we're going to make sure that the holidays are not skipped over just because they're busy. Anymore. Like, there's Good. No doing that. Like, this is all horrible and shitty. And I'm like, I know that you guys aren't like, you aren't sitting there like expecting a thank you but like, thank you for giving me a space to talk about this, because this is fucking horrible and shitty, and I hope that you guys never have to go through this. But if you do, know that it's going to be worse than you think. Like, I didn't know how bad this was going to be on Monday. I was like, oh, I'll be back in 2 days.
Yeah, I saw that. It's like, we're gonna.
I did not realize I did not realize how many circles there were of this hell. It's there's not just 3. There's another 72 that I have not gotten through yet. But yeah, this is rough. At first I was like, at first I'm like, I'll be back later this week. Then it's like, I'll be back Monday. I'll be back probably sometime this week, and I don't know if I'll be doing I'm going to be aiming for an article every other day at first, and then it'll be Monday through Friday from then on out. So, and that's kind of, I think, the best I can aim for. And I appreciate that so many of my patrons are like, do what you got to do. And you guys have been super fucking cool. And also just it's Jamila already knows this, but I love you so much, Jamila, and it's not
I love you too.
You guys, I don't know if you guys know, like, actually, of course you guys don't know this because I haven't told you before, but like Jamila is like the first person who called me, like when she saw that shit went down. Like there's no one, there are very few people who I like talking to on the phone other than like my family. And Jamila, like no one, not many people call. Like a lot of people like left messages. Jamila fucking called, and it was just super appreciated. So
it's a Gen X thing, We love that phone.
Yeah,
I love you, and it's yeah. I don't communicate as somebody who's a communicator as a living. I don't communicate the feelings well unless I get to speak them. Otherwise, I come off very lawyerly, which is not what I want to do. I can write stuff, but it's not. I will write something and send it. I will write something and send to your mom, but that will come in time, and it will come probably after the visits stop and the DoorDashes stop, and. Watching my older sister was unexpectedly widowed.
Oh my God!
Her husband was just and men, you have to check yourselves. You have to, and yes, I'm making that as a as a gendered statement.
Yeah,
because you know what, women go to the doctor anyway. Men. Please. Anyhow,
please go get all your stuff checked. Please go to regular doctor's visits. Please, like, do the things you can to, not leave people who love you in these states. This is, and like, here's the, like, right. And somebody asked, and my mom was so impressed with this. Cause like on the day that I announced, because like I announced on Monday that I'd had a family emergency. And then I got hit almost immediately after that with a 3-day ban on Facebook. I never get banned, and I got hit with a 3-day ban for, pardon me, using a common idiom that I'm only going to use the first part of it so that I don't accidentally get hit with another ban. But there's a common expression that involves telling someone to give one enough rope to. And it means you're giving someone enough room to do something stupid, not to, obviously not to do the actual. Anyways, I used that idiom, and right after posting the comment, and this was not on the SciBey account. This is, me being a jackass arguing with people because I'm in a bad mood because my brother just died. And anyways, thank you so much, Kelly. I super fucking appreciate. Anyways, if you're someone who doesn't want to sign up for Patreon, which you should sign up for Patreon because Patreon helps make all this run. But if you're like, hey, I want to support you during a month that you can't do as much writing of the thing and getting new people in, there's a PayPal link below. Super effing appreciate it. Or just send candy or things via help keep the show alive. Links below. Anyways.
It's the modern iteration of bringing a casserole. If you love SciBey, if you want to
There are also
Yeah.
links to send Uber Eats gift cards on my Amazon wish list, which I feel like that's like 16 layers of capitalism hell. But right now, cooking is not it's not as high on my priority list as it usually is. But I appreciate it so much. Where was I before I so rudely interrupted myself? We cannot get through a thing without me interrupting myself. It's just it's impossible. Let's see. What was I rambling about?
Oh, I interrupted you. I'm so sorry. You were saying there is Patreon, and if someone is inclined to want to support
Oh, it was the I
after
was
your
talking about the
band,
band.
yeah,
It was the
yeah.
yeah. So the band was just I went to so I posted on Monday family emergency, and I was going to post like I was waiting. Oh no, it was a 3-day ban because I have other bans that were bullshit that have now added up against me. I had bans that were overturned that they're like, no, those bans are still counting against you towards the eventual month-long ban that you're going to get. So if you want to make sure that you never get cut off from access to the moment of science, sign up for Patreon. Anyways, but yeah, so I love-hate relationship with the Facebook algorithm. But on an up note, there are 2 employees at Facebook that are fans of the page that have like thrown me into the, hey, we made an oops pile a couple of times to like get me unbanned quickly. So thank you guys. So thank you, Adrian and Daniel. Anyways, they have been very kind, extremely kind about listening to me whine about that. Anyways, so back to so anyways, got banned like not that long after saying, guys, I have a family emergency. And like, here's the thing, it wasn't like when I posted that we knew like my sister-in-law called me, and my sister-in-law doesn't call me ever. Like that's not like it's I thought one of few when I first like I got the voicemail and I was still asleep. And when I saw that it was Jen, I'm like, one of a few things have happened here. One, she's trying to plan a surprise. It's my brother's birthday in a week. Like that was my first thought was Leo's birthday is in 10 days. Are we planning a surprise? The next one was he's sick, and I'm actually Leo's like medical proxy, not his wife, and it's partially because and it was partially because he knew that like in a really fucked up situation, he trusted me to to keep a cool head. And that was the whole. So I thought, oh, there's a medical situation. Like those were my thoughts: was hospitalized, medical situation, or planning a surprise party. That the door number 4 was not a thing I thought was a possibility, and just it's like for everyone else last Monday was just Monday, and for me it was the day my brother died, and like I feel like every day since then has been it was Tuesday for me. It was the Tuesday after my brother died. It's like, and I don't know when the day is going to be that is just Tuesday again, and I don't know how long that takes. And that's the hardest part of this is like, when does it just feel like it's Tuesday again? So
and it happens when it happens, and there's no there's no roadmap to it. There's no length of time. There's no box to check. It fucking happens when it happens. And the only thing that we the collective we know is that it does happen. It does happen. And it requires a lot of work, and it requires a lot of tears, and it's shitty, and there's nothing good about it, but that's
I gotta ask, it's what medication was it? Because I'm not in any commercials for medication that I know of, but like if they did use my image, like I want royalties. Like, but if it's a headache medication, that's Khloe Kardashian, not me. Just want to clarify. I cannot afford that much plastic surgery yet. I'm getting there one day. But yeah. So I, anyways, posted on Monday emergency, and like, here's the thing: we wanted to, and this was like, I know I've mentioned this in the Patreon forum, because I went in and chatted with everyone. Also, if you're a if you're a patron and you haven't gotten onto Discord, go hang out, go sign up. Go, Discord is free. If you're not a patron, Discord is free. There is also a Patreon forum that I'll like, even if I'm having I don't want a human day, I'll pop into the Patreon forum more often than not. But it's like it's I couldn't post on Facebook, so I went in and told everyone what had happened. But like, we didn't want to post like to SciBey before we told the family, and that's one of the harder parts about being a public figure is that you don't think about. You don't think, oh, this is going to be a thing that happens one day, that a close family member is going to die, and we're going to have to spend a day holding off before I can post it on any of my social medias because we need to sit there and call a ton of people. And so I had to. So after my sister-in-law called me, I had, because we sat there and went, how do we tell your mom? So I found out before my mom, and it was so that we could figure out how to tell mom, because we were like, because, we have my brother has a friend group, in the area too. And it was like, do we have people go to mom's house to be with her when we tell her? And I'm like, no. Mom has neighbors that she's really close with. If she needs someone right there, right now, like we don't have to wait. But it was like, in one day, just to add to, if you want to, just to build up here's how bad my week was. I had to call and tell my mother, my brother's godmother, and my brother's best friend of 34 years from like the age of 6 that my brother had died. I will never get the sound of my brother's best friend just wailing with crying out of my head. Like, that's just like it's been awful. The whole thing's just been like, that's been the week. So I say this half jokingly. When I come back with like tons of fillers to try to prop my face up, to try to make it look like I'm human again, like, judge me just a little. It's all I'm asking. Just please keep the judgment to a minimum. Keep the judgment down.
I just want to just say, we love you. You are wonderful. We know how hard this is. And you bring, in addition to information, which is important, but, we laugh with you. You get us righteously indignant about things. You help us to recognize that there's a lot of connection in this world, and it's not just between the people, it's between the critters and the events, and that's important, because those methods of bringing people together are just as essential as going to the watering hole, or when I used to show up repeatedly at Sunday things because my mother made me try to be Catholic. We don't do that, and in these times where we're trying to keep ourselves and each other safe by not congregating, your page, your writing, your live streams, your Discord, these things are ways that help us to feel connected and be in union with each other. And the fact that you are hurting right now, and you're going to be hurting, and the fact that you are not able to bring your full self to working right now, because this is no different from a major physical trauma that you endured. I mean, if a fucking bus ran you over, we wouldn't expect you to be cranking out the posts every day.
I feel like a bus running different. I'm trying to think if a bus running me over would feel better. Like, it's I at least I would know how to heal from that. Like,
and there's no roadmap, so you figure it out as you go. You make it up as you go, and we just it enrages me that we got the freedom to not do what the world says needs to be done. And by the world, I mean all the people who know and study this shit and understand it. We can't get on planes. And part of it is because I'm a big threat right now. I'm in DC. Do you know the number? Anyway.
I mean, the scariest thing is like the place in the world that's having like the place that's really having their second wave right now is fucking Florida. Like, that's the that's the place that's really going nuts with the case Pardon me with the
How am I
outbreaks.
going to drink a beer with a mask on? That's the governor.
At home. At fucking home. Just, oh my God.
Yeah. So we'll, you know, when we are able to get together, we will. And in the meantime, just know that we love you, we support you, we think you're awesome. We can't, you know, we can't get enough of SciBey.
And I can't get enough of Miss Jamila. There's a reason why. It's look. There's a reason why I have you for my co-host, and you know, not to name names, but not the person who I used to, you know, host a thing with. Sorry.
Well,
it's,
you know,
yeah, we had discussions about that, and we're going to leave that here.
Mm-hmm.
We're just, look, I'm in a mood. I'll spill tea if I want. So
yay.
it's like when you see,
the back of his body, I am actually married to a human adult male.
What? It wasn't a lie all along?
I've been making it up. I fabricated it all, you know. But
Jamila and I are the same person. We were raised by my parents that tried to make us Catholic, and we both married Jewish men.
Yeah.
Just the random little things that it's like, how did that happen?
Absolutely. Yeah, you know.
It's your husband's now been nicknamed Jam Hubby.
Your nickname is Jam Hubby, so just if I call you that, you'll know. Yeah. He grunted his approval.
Oh man, it's for whatchamacallit, Derek has been Sci Hubs for a while. or Bay Hubs. Bay Hubs.
Ooh.
He's been assigned your last name.
True story. I played women's pro football for a while. I was a DC diva. I was a D-line tackle. I'm very good at hitting people.
That's so
I like
cool.
doing it too. It works out. You know, I had somebody when, you know, we're standing in line and we're, you know, explaining who we are and, you know, signing up for this team and that, you know, special teams, this, that, the other. And she's like, what's your name?
You just became like an icon to Ryan, just to let you know. He's just he like, yeah.
Well, I used to, the only reason that I never competed more widely in weightlifting is that when I, you know, back in 04, 05, when I really would have had a shot, the USPN lived in Maryland. I live in DC. And the truth of the matter is, I was 85 pounds heavier than her 100 pounds ago. And so I was lifting the same weight as somebody who wound up going to the Olympics, but in tiebreaker situations, the heavier competitor loses. So I could never play. If I lived anywhere else, I would have at least placed, would have been like, yeah, I was, you know, I went to the Olympic trials, but because of proximity, all the events I would have gone to, she was at, and I wouldn't have placed because of whatever, and I also didn't have discipline. But you know, I was, you know, there's proof of it. You know, I was doing competitive. True story. I wrote, and I think I told you, I think I said this on one of these before. I wrote a story when nobody knew what CrossFit was. When it was this, to me, you know. Yeah. Like I'm the first person to write the word kettlebell in the Washington Post. I wrote about hallucinating through a CrossFit workout in 2004, 2005. And
no one knew what
Diva folks, like what's a kettlebell? That sounds made up, like some Russian fake news. No, it is Russian. No, it's not.
I was still in college then. I definitely never heard of them.
So. Yeah, and I got to write a story about it, and the DC Diva owners read it and was like, "Come try out." And the tryout was fun. I ran and I jumped over stuff, and I didn't know anything about like how to play football. I knew go Steelers. That's all I knew. And some girl grabbed my ass, and I pushed her and knocked her over. This girl grabbed my ass, was being antagonistic about it. And I did not know that nobody knocked Tank over. She was also more than 400 pounds. And everybody looked at me and went, "Oh my God." And I'm like, "Oh shit, I'm about to get my ass beat by a whole football team." After I've already run and exhausted myself, I'm okay, protect the head and grab one of them as a shield. That was my plan. But the whole point was that nobody had ever knocked Tank over, especially not from a standing and not like crouched position. And they're like, "Yeah, you're a tackle." And I'm like, "Yeah, make me mad. There ain't a lot I can't knock over as long as it's like human." You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Oh my God.
You know, so yeah, I don't, yeah. Yeah, weightlifting, playing pro football, it's
so cool.
fun. And then I have this child who would be he's not allowed to play football because we're not doing head injuries because he's too smart.
No.
I can play football, he cannot.
It's
But he's just such a little happy pacifist lover, not fighter. He's like a baby. He's like baby Huey. He's big and strong, and like I'm like, "You could be an Olympian," and he's like, "No, I want to sit around and sing to the pretty girls because that's what he likes to do."
Oh.
So yeah, he likes to do that. No. I know. I'm like, how did that? Yeah, I guess he gets that from his daddy.
Oh, I thought, like, yeah. Whatever he grows into, it's like he's just, yeah. I'm waiting for him to be like, I feel like whatever he decides he wants to be, it's just he's just gonna turn it into he's either gonna be like the next Gandhi or the next Logan Paul, and I'm not sure which it's gonna be. Like it seems like the world is his oyster, just based on the intelligence level. Like the capability seems there. The fact that he can argue really well, like, makes him terrifying. So just, yeah. There's a wide open world of possibilities for a kid that smart. So somebody asked what Kiko asked what your deadlift was.
I kind of remember. Hold on, I thought I typed it in. Let's see. Yeah, I think I remember like 440.
Oh, damn.
I don't know that I ever broke 460. I may have, but I also had a coach who would not tell me what my weights were because I would get in my head about it. Like, there were times where I know that at my best, and I actually have like pictures of me like deadlifting like 405. I could do 405 twice.
Wow.
No, but my coach once told me that 405 was 420 and I couldn't budget at all. And then like one time told me that like 425 was like 390, and I pulled like, so like they're like, she was like, "Yeah, you cannot know what your weights are. We just need you to go up there and just lift." And I, true. So cool. The thing that's been hard for me through this pandemic is, I know that deadlifting is really good for my mental health. There is not like lifting really heavy stuff off the ground where I get to, and I am a grunter. I'm not a screamer. I am a grunter. And, just, that.
Oh, grunt for me, baby.
Oh,
yes.
I'm getting my Dr. Claw on.
Deadlifting does more for my mental health than Lexapro, which we use when we need, but it's just, oh yes, the women's lifting at Tokyo, like,
right,
there was no way that China wasn't going to like, oh my God, China.
So yeah. No, It's funny because I every so often you see, and like this drives me nuts because I know, like, lifting. Like I hang out with a ton of lifters just from the writing that I do. Like there are a couple comments I saw of people being like, "How could those Chinese women possibly have gotten so muscly?" I'm like, from lifting a lot. You see, when you
Yeah,
pick
yeah,
up a lot of heavy objects and put them back down, your muscles create micro tears that end up building up larger, and that's what those women did. Was they worked a lot, but
yeah, and
damn, they
I
looked
mean,
they were
yeah,
impressive.
and that whole like what you look, and that's another thing too. You look at these weightlifters, and frankly, it's like, oh well, look at how fat they are. Those people are out of shape. It's like, honey, no. And then and you don't, when you're lifting at that level,
Right.
the cardio benefits are incredible too. You know, you're when you're lifting to the point where it becomes well, it's already anaerobic. I know which audience I'm talking to, but when you have to do that in succession, such that you're like already um depleting, the oxygen stores in your muscles, and then you turn that lifting exercise into aerobic exercise, you wind up getting cardio benefits from it. A lot of the elite lifters have very strong heart muscles too, from all the deadlifting and overhead pressing. My favorite exercise is the deadlift. My second
Oh,
favorite exercise, I like push pressing. You start with the bar. You can, however, but I like to start with the bar racked at my shoulders, and you can dip with your knees and bounce up a little bit. It's the top of the clean and jerk exercise.
oh, nice. Yeah, those
So
scare me because I'm so afraid of dropping it.
well,
I'm like,
but you drop one time, everybody drops it. But it's sort of like saying, oh, I'm afraid of pulling out of a parking space because you see how people drive. It's like,
yeah, you learn.
you learn, and you when you know your body well enough, okay, I'm feeling this way. I need to warm this up a little more. Okay, you know what? We're going to do more reps today. I'm not trying for you. When you feel great, yeah, you wouldn't drop. Also, good coaching. But oh yeah, I miss that. Push pressing. It's sort of
I've
you
missed
get up there now. I've got
I've
long
missed going to
arms,
the
which is a
gym.
deficit.
It's
Yeah.
same. I have like it's just it is difficult. Like here's the thing about having long arms when you have to do a push thing. It's just it means you have to put like it just means you have to push extra length to do the same. Like
Right.
there are certain things that being short and being tall have different advantages for in these certain sports. Like just
Right.
anyways, sorry, carry on.
Yeah, but like I'm built like a stork. I'm really short waisted. I'm like all leg, and I have a short little torso, which means, were I to be like a diver, like if you see, okay, like my elbows clear the top of my head, I can make a long line that way. It works for ballet teachers. Love that look because you make long, pretty lines. Not the greatest at generating power necessarily, but if it's a more artistic kind of thing. So when you've got weight and you want to get it up, a shorter lever, as we well know, will do better to generate more power through time. But whatever, I come, you make me mad or you get me excited, and I'm like excitable, and I'm like, yeah, put it up. I did it. Look at that. And it's a lot of fun because also, to be blunt, I was one of the few women in the weight room, like outlifting most of the guys, and that like really gave me a charge. So
Nice.
I was
No,
like, yeah.
I was always a cardio monkey, and then my hips died on me. Like it was like because like when I was running, like we did not realize I had undiagnosed celiac disease. So all of that carb loading I was doing made me have to run to the bathroom a zillion times during my long run. So I was like, I don't want to run. Sci Mom has entered the chat.
Hi, Sci Mom. We love
So
you, Sci Mom.
I'll call you after we're done here, Sci Mom. But like after I would run all these, I would I'd have long runs to do for marathon training. And I'm like, I don't want to run 20 miles and have to bring toilet paper with me because I'm shitting my brains out because my carb load wrecked my innards, and I did not realize that was happening. And I had a really bitchy woman that I knew in my running group just pick on me like relentlessly for the fact that I did my training runs on a treadmill. And I'm like, look, I wasn't good enough. Like I was in my 20s. I really wasn't comfortable enough discussing my shitting habits at the time, which, all it took was me getting 300,000 followers for me to be comfortable talking about my shitting habits. So, like your 30s are interesting. You get more comfortable talking about the fact that you have rampant diarrhea. But yeah, like I was just running back and forth between a treadmill and a toilet. And I had this one mean fucking cunt in the Navy whose name was Kate Hadley, who was cheating on her husband. Sorry. Was that out loud? Oh, sorry.
Oh, I heard it, and good.
Yeah.
If every writer, I'm speaking for every writer right now. If you don't want us to use you as fodder for something we publish, then don't be a reprehensible human being. And now that there's broadcast everywhere, we've got more options to make you feel bad for what you did.
Here's the thing that happened though. The thing about Kate being she wasn't just mean about the fact that I trained on a treadmill. We had another runner friend named Dan who he was a big dude, and he ran a marathon at 300 pounds. We were so proud of him that he got the fact that he was like, I'm gonna do this. And he did it. And, we were just so fucking proud of Dan. Here's the thing. When he went to run, he was like, he did it to raise a bunch of money for charity. And he said, I'll auction off my shirt for this thing to whoever pays the most. And this girl, Kate, happened to pay the most. And she basically paid for the entire back of his shirt to run the Athens Marathon, to be just an entire thing fucking insulting me, because I wouldn't take her training advice. So again, her name is Kate Hadley. She was in the Navy for 20 years, and she cheated on her husband a whole lot during that time. Kate Hadley lives out of Virginia. Just wanted to throw that out there, because don't you dare fuck with my life and then think there's not going to be some recourse for that, Kate Hadley. Anyways, I'm just saying she thought that was gonna. That's a thing that I know you're saying wow. I don't know if you're saying wow, petty of me for dropping. Okay, petty of Kate. Yeah,
no, petty of Kate. Yeah,
Dan felt awful for. He's like he felt terrible for he's like, yeah, I basically put it on for the start of the race and the end because I promised I would for the pictures. And he's like I didn't know what to do because she paid the money for it. And I'm like, you could have just told her no. But she basically fucked up a friendship between two people because I wouldn't take her advice on where to run because I didn't feel like discussing my pooping habits with her. This horrible woman who cheated on her husband, who would go on trips with her friends that she was baseball fans with to cheat on her husband. I just wanted to throw that out there. Ms. I have moral high ground because I train outside for marathons. Cheated on her husband a whole lot.
The thing about that marathon story that I doesn't the guy die at the end of it? The runner had to go from marathon.
I wrote about that earlier this year. So fun story about I say we wrap up towards the end of this because I feel like people are Googling Kate. Guys, leave Kate alone. Leave Kate gets to be a miserable cunt all on her lonesome. Okay, Kate was a miserable enough person to fuck up, to fuck over her friend, to make her friend Dan miserable through a thing that he worked on for 2 years to be able to run. And that that's who she is as a person. I'm just throwing this out there because fuck her. I'm just doing this because I know that I might get back to her that I said this all and it's going to make her sad. And what's she going to do? Tell people Yvette was a slutty 22-year-old. I've admitted to being a slutty 22-year-old. That's fine. She was a terrible adult. She was in her 40s when this shit happened. So she was in her 40s and decided to make a friend wear a shirt to run their marathon that insulted a mutual friend because she was crazy and mean for no good reason. Fuck that. Anyway, also, it's when you're in the military, when you cheat on your spouse, that's considered a thing that you can I believe you can be kicked out of the military for that. So I mean, she's already been retired from the military, but I just wanted to throw it out there that she cheated on her husband, her wonderful husband, very sweet husband, kind person. She cheated on him a whole lot. Anyways, sorry, I just
damn her.
I don't know why that all came out now. Maybe this is part of the grief process. It's just, anyways. Oh,
yes.
Akiko is saying stop because liability. I'm not sure if it's liability when there's so much evidence of this. So much. So much.
Marathon.
Anyways, marathon. Yes. So here's what happens. I mean, I can delete this later. It's a federal crime to cheat on your spouse when you're in the military. Oh, that's interesting. Anyways, I appreciate that clarification. Look, I'm just bringing something to light. So marathon. Here's the thing: the guy did not die from running the 26 miles. So Phidippides, he was basically a professional runner because once upon a time they really didn't have much in the way of horses or Ford F-150s back in ancient Greece. So he would just run and fucking run and fucking run. You had a message you needed to get somewhere, he'd be like, I'll run it across town. And he was literally running it. So that week they needed to go and ask the Spartans to come. The Athenians needed to go ask the Spartans to come and help them fight in a war against Xerxes and the other fucking douches in Greece. Anyways, he ran he ran about 100 or 150 miles to ask the Spartans. And they're like, sorry, we're having one of our naked orgy parties. Go the fuck away. We'll consider it later. He's like, fine. So we ran back to the Athenians another 150 miles to be like, sorry, they can't come. And we're going to have to we're going to have to fucking fight this on our own. So then he ran off into battle with the Athenians and, they did their thing and won. So then he had to run, I forget if it's from Marathons to Athens or Athens. Anyways, he runs another 25 miles after already running 350 miles in the last few days. And then he died. So I don't think it was the 25 miles that killed him. I think it was the 350 miles and the battling. And that's what killed him. So that's here's the thing. We run those 25 miles or those 26.2 miles. I say this having run a few of them to make ourselves feel like we've cheated death. But really, Phidippides, we'd have to run those 350 some odd miles first. To really feel like we've cheated death. But that guy, that was a professional. He died after he earned that. And your chances of dying in a marathon extraordinarily low. When people when I ran and people were like, that people die running marathons, right? I'm like,
not often.
That's extremely, extremely, extremely seldom. So if you're curious about that, there's an article on SciBey.com. Just look up marathon on the search bar and you'll find it. So
excellent. Okay. We have kept you here. We have kept you here, SciBey. We see SciMom in the comments. Condolences, SciMom. Yeah. They're no words.
Yeah, this all sucks. I'm probably gonna delete this stream just because liability as Akiko is. Look, Akiko's has been to law school, so I'll take her word that this is maybe liability. The maximum punishment for adultery defined in the Uniform Code of Military Justice is forfeiture of all pay and allowances and confinement up to a year. Oh shit. Maybe I will delete this stream just to but I'm just saying maybe she shouldn't have been such a cunt to someone maybe she shouldn't have been so awful to anyone, because there's always that risk that person that you're a horrible person to is eventually going to have a giant audience and can fuck up your life. Just
and my laughter is yes, that's appropriate advice that should be shared far and wide. As you know, Yvette, I'm going to call you. We will call. Yeah. We will get on the phone, and I know.
I'm gonna take off. If you want to keep on chatting with these lovely people, I'm gonna skedaddle. Do you want to call the stream?
Let's skedaddle together. I feel like, especially if this is a stream that's going to be deleted, we should start fresh.
Good.
We
Good
should
times.
start fresh.
Cool. All right.
Yes. So love and hugs to everybody. Tell your people all the things you feel like saying, because you can tell your people when you have them.
Yeah. Good. Call your people. If you have a friend that you haven't talked to in a while and you're like, I'll get to this eventually, call them. Call them now. All right. I love you guys. We will see you on Friday. Bye.
Yeah. Take care.
Bye.